You guys, I have my own supplement line. That's right. You heard correct. I now have my very own line of products called Bethany's Pantry. This line of products is under the Nuzest brand, which I already created my digestive support protein powder with. So what's the difference? Well, it's been in the works for a while, and as my mission to expand in helping others with their health goals and digestion, Nuzest has allowed me to formulate my own products under their company as a sister brand. Any and all of Bethany's Pantry products are created by me, Bethany. Every ingredient and sub-ingredient has been approved by me along with the origin of the ingredient. The taste, texture, and overall combination of ingredients in my products are created specifically for those with sensitive tummies, designed to help improve digestion, nutrient absorption, and ultimately your health, all while making it enjoyable and easy to consume and incorporate into your daily lives. You guys know how picky I am about every single ingredient and product I recommend. So you know anything I personally create won't be any different. All right, so you may be asking, what products did you create, Bethany? I will be rolling out new items gradually as time goes on. But for now, I currently have the 5 items available, which I'll share right now. So, of course, my digestive support protein powder, which is in vanilla, cacao, and strawberry flavor. I also have a plant protein bake mix, which I'll explain in just a minute. And I have a digestive support L-Glutamine, which I take L-Glutamine every single day for gut support. So you can be sure you are getting a little sipper item if it's under the Bethany's Pantry label, as there's been some confusion between my digestive support protein and the regular line of Nuzest protein. So in addition to the protein powder, I just mentioned I now have a plant protein bake. This is intended for recipes in place of flour. This powder is unflavored and it can be used in sweet and savory recipes. You can also add it to smoothies for a sugar-free, high-protein, low-carb boost. This new plant protein bake is perfect for pancakes, brownies, cookies, even breading chicken or breading fish, thickening soups, making tortillas, tortilla chips, even cheesecakes, and so much more. Try the brownie recipe on the back of the package. You're gonna love it. My new plant protein bake is unflavored, very low carb. It's vegan, paleo, keto, high protein, sugar-free, gluten-free, grain-free, SIBO-friendly, easy to digest. I mean, what else could you ask for? Another brand new item is my digestive support L-Glutamine powder. Now, L-Glutamine has been something I've talked about for years to support gut health. It's an amino acid clinically proven to help rebuild the gut lining and help support the immune system, and has been shown to help those with digestive issues in all spectrums. And now I have created my very own that you know you can trust. The L-Glutamine benefits are just beyond, and here are just a few. It helps with intestinal health, like leaky gut, helps support intestinal cells, helps normal growth of intestinal cells. It can even help prevent harmful bacteria and toxins from moving from your intestines into the rest of your body, as well as help maintain the barrier between the inside of your intestines and the rest of your body. I mean, so much intestinal health can come from L-Glutamine. In addition, it can also help support the immune system. Glutamine is a critical fuel for white blood cells, which we all need, right? When sufficient amounts of glutamine are not available, the immune system can actually be compromised. Reports even show that glutamine supplements may improve health, decrease infections, and lead to shorter hospital stays after surgery. These are just a few of the many items in Bethany's Pantry, and more are in the works, so stay tuned. But for now, head on over to newzest-usa.com. And at the top of the screen, they're going to have a tab called Bethany's Pantry. Just hit that tab and you'll be able to check out all of the newness. Again, that's newzest-usa.com and hit the Bethany's Pantry tab to check out all the newness. If you're not subscribed to my newsletters, they come out every Friday and they're called Friday Finds. This is information that only my subscribers get in their inbox. I share stuff like non-toxic air fryers and kitchen appliances, new food finds, product recalls, food news, and food products that aren't even on the market yet, but I've got the scoop. This is not published anywhere else and cannot be found on my blog. So be sure you're in the know and subscribe to my weekly newsletters by going to littlesipper.com/subscribe and enter your email. That's all you have to do. So go to LILSIPPER.com/subscribe to get exclusive information on everything food. Hey, you guys, we are back with another episode of Digest This. And if you're sitting at home with your beautiful bag of Bethany's Pantry L-Glutamine or any brand and wondering, how do I actually take this L-Glutamine powder? Then this is the ultimate guide for you. And that's because I'm going to use the latest research to answer your main questions about using an L-Glutamine supplement powder for gut health. We'll look at whether you should take it with or without food, plus the best time of day to consume it and which drinks to mix it with. I'm your host, Bethany Cameron, and you're listening to the Digest This podcast. So everything you need to know about using L-Glutamine is going to be covered right now, most everything. So glutamine is a remarkable amino acid for gut health, you guys. And not only can it help with bloating and digestion, but also leaky gut. In fact, a 2011 meta-analysis of 86 different studies on L-Glutamine and gut permeability found, and I quote, "Glutamine is considered the most important nutrient for healing leaky gut syndrome because it is the preferred fuel for enterocytes and colonocytes," end quote. Episode 93 of the Digest This podcast talks more in depth about all the benefits of L-Glutamine, including intestinal health and things related to it like leaky gut. It also helps maintain the barrier between the inside of your intestines and the rest of your body. It helps prevent harmful bacteria and toxins from moving from your intestines into the rest of your body. It also helps normal growth of intestinal cells as well as supports intestinal cells altogether. L-Glutamine also aids in the immune system and is a critical fuel source for white blood cells. When sufficient amounts of L-Glutamine are not available, the immune system can be compromised. So, reports show that glutamine supplements may improve health, decrease infections, and lead to shorter hospital stays after surgery. Those are just a few of the benefits. So, I highly suggest going back a few weeks and listening to episode 93, because once you find out about what it actually can do for the body and gut health, you'll never want to go a day without it. But here's the thing. L-Glutamine in supplement form can be a bit confusing because there are so many conflicting methods of a right and wrong way to take it. So if you're part of the group that's still unsure and unclear of how to get the best from your glutamine powder, you won't be that part of the group by the end of this episode. I'm going to answer some of the most top questions. Number 1, should you take L-Glutamine with or without food? Number 2, when is the best time of day to take it? What is the best beverage to drink it with? And number 4, how much L-Glutamine should you actually be taking? Knowing all this will make all the difference because if you are taking it incorrectly, you may just be wasting your money or even worse, missing out on all the health benefits. So let's get right into it. Should you take L-glutamine with or without food? So, as with most supplements, research suggests that you take it with food. This is because most supplements are better absorbed when eating a meal. For example, vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin and hormone, so it is best taken with a meal containing some fat. Other supplements are usually just better tolerated when taking with food. For example, fish oil tends to be gentler on the GI tract when it is taken with a meal as opposed to on an empty stomach. But when it comes to gut health supplements, things aren't quite so simple. And these general directions aren't necessarily the most suitable. For example, probiotics. Should you take them with or without food? Well, the answer actually depends on a few factors, like the probiotic strains being used, the type of meal being eaten, the encapsulation technology, and just a host of other factors as well. As I always recommend taking seed like in the morning on an empty stomach to get the full benefits from Seed's Symbiotic DS-01 pre and probiotic capsule. There are a whopping 24 strains of specifically formulated probiotics targeted for digestive health, gut immunity, as well as additional systematic benefits in Seed's capsule. One of my favorite things about Seed is that it's a capsule within a capsule. That's right. There's actually a prebiotic capsule encapsulating the probiotic inside, which ensures that the probiotics actually make it into your colon with 100% survivability to do its job. Many have even noticed clearer skin since the gut controls almost all areas of our body. Healthy regularity and an ease of bloating are just a few other common perks you may experience, some in as little as 24 hours. Each person reacts differently, of course, and you can't substitute a pill for a healthy diet. So what does Seed DS-01 actually do? Well, many think of pre and probiotics as only gut support, but it does way more than that. It does support the gut barrier, of course, which is where most of our immunity is and a vital part of our health. But Seed's DS-01 also supports other areas of the body for whole body benefits, skin health, heart health, and micronutrient synthesis. As mentioned, it's best taken in the morning on an empty stomach for it to thoroughly do its job, which again is different than what other supplementation recommendations are. So each is individualized. So in case you did want to try a probiotic, one that's backed by clinical trials and scientific data, visit seed.com/digest and use code DIGEST to redeem 30% off your first month of Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic. That's seed.com/digest and use code DIGEST. Now back to L-glutamine. At least things are a bit simpler when knowing how and when to take it. And it all has to do with absorption, which I'll explain right now. So the first thing you need to know is that meat and seafood have lots of amino acids in them. And the second thing is that L-glutamine is also an amino acid. And as you can imagine, our intestinal tract can only absorb so many amino acids at once, which means if consuming L-glutamine with meat, seafood, and or eggs, you're asking your intestinal wall to do too much. It simply won't be able to absorb all the L-glutamine. And therefore, if we want to give my L-glutamine the best chance of being fully absorbed, it can help to take it without meat to not overload your body all at once. Now, given most meals do contain some protein, a general guide is to take the L-glutamine 1 or more hours before or after a meal, or with a piece of fruit or veggies, which are fairly low in protein. So what about the best time of day to take L-glutamine for your gut health? Well, this is where things are really simple. While other supplements often need to be taken at specific times of day, magnesium is another great example of needing to take it at night for better sleep and muscle relaxation. It doesn't really matter when you take L-glutamine. Now, all that said, taking L-glutamine first thing in the morning is usually the best and easiest way to remember to incorporate it into your daily routine. And it also gives your gut a great start for the day. And as mentioned, taking L-glutamine twice a day can give your gut extra support. And if you're one to need that extra support, you might think about splitting your glutamine consumption routine between the morning and early evening. Now, let's talk about the best beverages to take L-glutamine with. When it comes to the best drink, there are some that are better than others, and even beverages you should avoid mixing it with. Well, don't worry, because I'll explain now exactly which beverages glutamine does best with and which ones you should avoid. Obviously, plain filtered water is fine, but what if you want to mix it with something else? So first, let's talk about hot versus cold beverages. So in terms of temperature, it is best to take L-glutamine with cold or room temperature drinks. And that is because research as far back as the 1980s has shown amino acids like L-glutamine that they tend to only be stable up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit or 49 degrees Celsius. Heat can denature or damage the precious amino acids, so including those in your L-glutamine powder. Yes, it is precious if you ask me. So definitely stick to cold or room temperature drinks when mixing L-glutamine powder. I also did want to mention this powder does perfectly fine inside your body, which is typically 98.5 degrees, but glutamine amino acids might struggle in something like coffee or tea, which are usually consumed around 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Also keep in mind not to add it to warm bone broth or soups. So again, as mentioned earlier, it is best to take L-glutamine with drinks that do not contain a lot of other protein. However, mixed with a protein powder has been known to be totally fine as long as the protein source is not from meat, such as a bone broth protein powder. Mixing it with pea, hemp, chia, or even whey or dairy protein has been shown to be totally okay. Also, adding it to Greek yogurt is acceptable. So as you can see, you have a lot of options for mixing in your L-glutamine powder in more than just water. But water could be the easiest because the L-glutamine powder is completely tasteless, it's gritless, it dissolves instantly in water, and when you mix it in with water, you can't even see it. It's just like clear liquid. If you've ever tried it, you know what I'm talking about. Now, the question still stands, how much L-glutamine should we be consuming per day? Well, honestly, this is an extremely complicated question to answer since there is no recommended dose from the FDA for gut health support. And gut health is one of the most individualized care one can have because each microbiome is so different from person to person, as well as that person's stress, activity, diet, and overall lifestyle. But sifting through tons and tons of research, 5 to 10 grams of L-glutamine per day is a generalized rule and the optimal dosage if you're looking to specifically support gut health. This is because research has shown this amount delivers enough glutamine to feed and nurture your GI tract, but not too much to run the risk of tolerance issues popping up later. So if you're looking to make glutamine a part of your daily supplement protocol, 5 to 10 grams is a great start. The L-glutamine from my brand new line, Bethany's Pantry, contains 50 5-gram servings per bag. So if you took 5 grams in the morning and another 5 grams in the evening every day, one bag would last you a little under a month. So 12 bags of my digestive support L-glutamine would last you an entire year. just 1 bag per month if you took 10 grams per day. But what about L-Glutamine capsules? There are tons on the market. Capsules can certainly be more convenient, but are they better? So to reach the same amount of 5 to 10 grams per day, you'd need to swallow quite a lot of pills to reach the minimum of just a 5-gram serving. And many have a difficult time swallowing just one pill, let alone 6 at a time. So that's why I created my L-Glutamine to be a free-flowing powder to easily mix with water and other liquids. 1 scoop of powder mixed in a drink is just easier to consume than 5 to 10 capsules. And honestly, a lot more enjoyable. I hope this episode was helpful and you are a lot more clear on how to take your new L-Glutamine powder from my brand new line of products called Bethany's Pantry. I will leave a link in my show notes so that you can access it along with all the other Bethany Pantry products. And as always, I always appreciate all your support in this podcast and hope you share it with just one person to help this podcast continue to grow and impact more lives. See you guys this Wednesday for another fire interview. Thanks for listening to this episode of Digest This. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review in your podcast app to let us know. If you're ever wondering how you can support me and this podcast, sharing it with your friends and family is the best way. This is a Resonant Media production produced by Drake Peterson and edited by Mike Fry. To email the show, message us at digestthis.pod@gmail.com. See you next time. The content of this show is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for individual medical and mental health advice and does not constitute a provider-patient relationship. As always, talk to your doctor or health team first.